Hello, drum school and drummer friends. It's Alan here. Hope everybody's keeping well. Okay, we are in the talk through lessons for the rock school grade 1 pieces. Just to remind you again that there's a playthrough on each of these on my channel. Now, this is the short talk through where we're just going to look at the main points, rhythms, grooves, anything new, technical issues, etc., in these pieces. We're now going to look at Jangle Road. This is a great piece, kind of in the style of the Beatles. And there's two key elements to this that you want to look at straight off, okay? And we're going to look straight at the very beginning, because sometimes we drop in a different section in the piece, but at the very beginning. In this piece, I think we've got 3 sections, or maybe is it 4? No, I think it's just got the 3. So we're going to look at section A at the very start. All right, section A. We're on the ride cymbal, and we've got to get this count right, okay? 115 BPM, which is that there, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so, but what we're going to play is we're going to play a crotchet, then there's a quaver rest and a quaver note, and then another crotchet, and then another crotchet. Okay, so put all that together in time. We'll do it slowly, actually. We'll not do it up to speed. So it's going to be 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2. The beat 2 is that little quaver rest. That rhythm okay, just played the first couple of bars, couple of times. That little pattern, 1 and 3, 4, 1 and 3, 4, keeps cropping up in this at the start and at the very end, in what I would call a pre-outro. Okay, so we're not quite at the very end, a pre-outro, and also in the outro. We are looking at section A, which is the intro, the introduction, but you get that little pattern again in the outro. Okay, so just watch out for that. Right, so again, if you listen to the playthrough on my channel, you'll hear me play all of that. I think it's relatively, after that, it's relatively straightforward. Just make sure that in bar 3, we play 3 and 4. Okay, the whole bar is 1, 2, and 3 and 4. Before we play that crash on beat 1 of the 4th bar, and then finish the introduction with that crotchet on beat 4. All right, so just keep remembering that little bump, 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 ta, bump, 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 ta. It's really an iconic rhythm that is used, or an iconic pattern that is used a lot in songs. Okay, so that's the first thing, and it'll crop up again at the end, and we'll look at that in due course. The second thing is, in fact, there's maybe another 2 things, and the first one is that in this piece we use like what I call a little cha-cha. So 2 quavers on beat 2 and the end of 2. So if I just play it simply, all right, so I'm playing the first bar without the crash. There's a crash. We're at letter B. Letter B. So do you hear that? Cha-cha, cha-cha, 3, 4, 1. Cha-cha, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. That's the proper count. 2 and 3, 4. And we got ourselves a little 4-bar phrase, okay? So you got that. Second bar is relatively straightforward. Watch out for that crotchet rest. And then in the 4th bar of B, we are going to do something that I don't think appears in any of the other pieces. I might be wrong at grade 1, but it's definitely here. We have got a displaced snare drum hit. We've been so used to playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. This time we've got 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, so if I put the 2 bars together, bar 7, cha-cha, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1. Oh, so it's on the and of 2, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. So in the and of 2, okay? It's what we call displacing the snare beat, and there's some famous drummers who have used that to great effect, okay? So we've got that here, so just watch out for that. We're going to do the same again for another 4 bars. We've got our little cha-chas, and then we've got that displaced note. We're staying on the right cymbal, okay? So section A and B, right the way down to section C, we're staying on the right cymbal. So work on those patterns slowly before you try and bring it up to speed. And think about that as a little 4-bar phrase, okay? Because it helps sometimes if we can break it down into manageable chunks rather than just looking at the whole piece and going, oh, there's a lot going on here, isn't there? Break it down, not only into its sections, but within the sections. Within the sections here, we have 4-bar phrase, which is then repeated, okay? And then after that, a second 4-bar phrase, it becomes a little bit more steady, where we're kind of playing this pattern. Lots of cha-chas going on there. And I think actually I stuck in an extra one there in my enthusiasm. Let's go back to bar 13, and let's do that again. And 1. Last time. Okay. All right. Doing too much talking, trying to think and do this all at the same time. So, we've got all those all the way down to our drum fill, the bar before C. All right. And our little drum fill is 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So just make sure. Don't try to do that with like one hand, like your left hand. All right? Try to get used, when you're doing these fills, to use both hands. Okay? Alternate single sticks as well. All right, we're on section C. So we're on to the hi-hat, and it's kind of the same as what we played at section B. All right? The same, the second half, section B. The same idea. We've got those little cha-chas on the snare drum. We have an open hi-hat. And again, in relation to the open hi-hats that are in these pieces, I'm going to do a complete separate lesson on the hi-hat techniques that are used in grade 1. So check that out. Okay, this one, we're going to play the snare drum and open the hi-hat at the same time. It's kind of, it falls into the sort of the group of open hi-hat techniques that I think sometimes we would call a bark, you know, because it's a wee bit different to some of the other ones where we're maybe just lifting the hi-hat at the end of a bar, going into another bar. But again, we're going to discuss that later. I'll just play it in context just so that you can hear it for now. All right. It only lasts 1 beat, by the way. Don't let it sizzle on any longer than that. So, and the other good thing about working on that is that then it brings us to the pre-outro, what I call the pre-outro. It's not quite the end of the song, but we're getting there. And also, as said to you right at the start, this little pattern, dum, 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 crops up later on. Here it is. And the only difference is we're playing quavers on the hi-hat, etc., etc. All right? With the snare drum hit there on beat 4. Try not to hit the snare drum on 2. It doesn't exist. All right? So you've got to work at that slowly to make sure that we just get that on beat 4. And again, another bar with another bark, okay, at the end of the 3rd bar of that little section. We're on bar 29. Bar 29, okay? And again, that's going to lead us into the outro, where we're going to play just like the intro. All right? Just like the intro. And again, just like the intro, we've got 1 and 3 and 4, and we're going to finish in a crash. All right? Hope that helps you with Jangle Road. This is a great piece, and you should really attempt to do this. Maybe not right at the start. Do some of the more straightforward ones before attempting this, okay? Because I think this is probably one of the trickier ones at grade 1. But I hope that helps you with working through Jangle Road, and I hope you enjoy working on that and getting your Ringo Starr feel from playing that, all right? So, onwards and upwards, we're going to look at another Rock School Grade 1 piece in just a minute. Hope you're enjoying working through these. Hopefully you've looked at quite a few. Remember that there's the playthrough of Jangle Road and all the other Grade 1 pieces, and also that separate hi-hat technique video that you need to watch to work on this and the other pieces where there is open hi-hat techniques to be looked at. All right, see you on the next Grade 1 talk through video.